Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a key concept for AI developers, MCP versus function calling. If you're building applications with large language models and need to integrate external tools or APIs, this comparison will help you understand the trade-offs. Let's break it down in a few minutes, stick with me. First, let's talk about MCP, or Model Controller Protocol. This is a structured framework for connecting your language model to external tools. Picture this: a user asks, "What's the weather in San Francisco?" The query starts with the user and hits the MCP client. The client is like a coordinator; it has access to a set of tools and decides how to handle the request. Here, it identifies that a weather API is needed. The MCP client sends the query to the MCP host, which is tightly coupled with the language model. Think of the host as the brain that manages the LLM's interactions. The host processes the query, realizes it needs external data, and sends an API request to the weather API. The API returns the data, say, the temperature in San Francisco is 18 degrees Celsius. The MCP host then feeds this back to the language model, which generates the final output and sends it to the user via the MCP client. The flow is user to client, client to host, host to LLM, then out to the API, and back through the same chain. It's a multi-step process with clear separation of concerns, which makes it great for complex workflows where you need tight control over tool integration. Now, let's switch gears to function calling. This is a more direct approach, often baked into modern LLMs like those from OpenAI or Anthropic. Again, the user asks, "What's the weather in San Francisco?" The query goes straight to the large language model. Here's the key difference: the LLM has been fine-tuned to recognize when a function call is needed. It's given a prompt with a function declaration, basically, a definition of available functions, like get_weather, location. The LLM decides to make a function call to the weather API, sends the request, and gets the response: the temperature in San Francisco is 18 degrees Celsius. The LLM then incorporates that into its output and sends it directly back to the user. The flow here is simpler: user to LLM, LLM to API, and back to the user. There's no intermediary client or host, just the model handling everything. Function calling relies on the LLM's ability to understand and execute function declarations, which makes it lightweight and fast. However, it's less modular than MCP, since the logic is embedded in the model itself. So, what's the difference in practice? MCP offers a layered architecture: client, host, LLM, and tools are distinct components. This modularity makes it easier to debug, scale, or swap out parts of the system, but it adds overhead with multiple hops. Function calling, on the other hand, is more streamlined. The LLM handles everything in one go, which reduces latency but can make it harder to manage if your application grows complex or if the model misinterprets the function call. Use MCP when you need robustness and control, like in enterprise settings with multiple tools and strict governance. Use function calling for simpler apps where speed and ease of integration are priorities, like a quick chatbot with a few API calls. I'll catch you in the next one.